Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Welcome to the beautiful renovated Ramsay Park. Give yourselves a round of applause for joining us here today. And how about a huge round of applause for all these kids behind us? They're the reason that we renovated this park, and we're so excited that they're joining us. This is an extraordinary space named after an extraordinary person in an extraordinary neighborhood. We are so grateful to be here. This was a great promise made in the Mayor's State of the Union speech a couple of years ago, and we're so happy to have him joining us here today. My name is Chris Cook. I'm the Chief of Energy, Environment, and Open Space. It gives me great honor to also serve as the Parks Commissioner for the City of Boston in that role, and it's even more of an honor to introduce the next speaker, a great friend to open spaces in the city, and in fact, every year that he's been in office, he's actually expanded the Parks Department budget. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm South End Roxbury welcome for the Mayor of Boston, Martin J. Walsh.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Chris. And let me just start by thanking Chris and all the Parks and Recreation staff that's here today. They've done an incredible job. So let's give them a round of applause. They've done an amazing job. I want to thank Commissioner Sterling from our Office of Veteran Services. I want to thank Captain Dave Ramsay's family and friends that are here. I'm going to talk more about Captain Ramsay in a few minutes. I want to thank the neighborhood that's here, Captain Sweeney that's here with us today. Thank you very much. To the young people that challenged me in the city a couple of years ago, some of you were here, thank you very much. I walked through this park, 2 years ago? And we walked through, this was a dirty area. There was a playground area here for the kids that was broken and falling apart. There was trash in the park. There was not a soccer field. There wasn't basketball courts like we have here. There wasn't a tot lot like that's here today. All of those things. I want to thank the young people because without your advocacy and for the press, the young people contacted me and they wanted to talk about their park and how bad it was. And we came down here, we did a tour, and we walked around, and we made a commitment at that point to put some money in the budget. I think it was $1 million in the budget at that point. And eventually the project went up to over $2.1 million renovation to have more trees in this park, to have public art in this park, more ways to play, a playground for kids with all abilities so they can come in here and enjoy themselves. These young people behind me and in front of me are the benefactors of what's happening here today in this park. The older kids that are here, they didn't get a chance to necessarily benefit as much as the little ones here did. But because of your advocacy, you really changed their life, and I want to thank you for that. We should give the kids a round of applause, the young people a round of applause. This park obviously is a place to play and a place for families to come and enjoy. And it's named after a local hero, David Ramsay, Captain David Ramsay, who grew up in Roxbury. He played in these streets in the neighborhood. He set track and field records in his high school. He went on to serve his country in Vietnam, where he died in action. This park is named after him for not just what he did as a hero for this country and for this neighborhood, but reflects his legacy in giving back and helping others. And that's what a park's all about. It's about giving back to the community. It's about allowing young people the opportunity and older people the opportunity to go and relax and enjoy themselves and to have a safe, good, clean place to be able to go and enjoy. And that's really what this is all about. And I want to thank the captain's legacy, and I want to thank all of you. So when you think about the captain and you think about all the advocacy, when you think about this park, think about a man who grew up in Roxbury, who hung in the same streets that a lot of us did, who went to maybe the same high school that some of us did, that played sports the way we do, went on to fight for the country the way that a lot of us don't have the opportunity to, or didn't have the opportunity to, and lost his life while he's protecting other people in the war and the conflict in Vietnam. This investment also makes a big difference in our communities. Last year we announced the largest ever capital park funding budget. We are truly building a world-class city. Last weekend, 2 weekends ago, I missed it, but in the basketball courts behind me, I heard there was a guy that's somewhat famous. You know who he was? Michael Bivens was here, and he had his basketball tournament going on, and think he played some music, and you know, Michael Bivens, and when he was with New Edition, our kids also that grew up in this neighborhood, in these neighborhoods, and they ran around the streets of Boston and Roxbury, and they went on to do some incredible things in their music career, and they changed the way that music happens, and they came up, I don't know if they want to be called a boy band, but they were a boy band back in the day, and they really did some incredible things. So I want to thank Michael Bivens as well, because he's helping us continue to build a world-class park system. I also want to give a special shout out to a person who's represented this neighborhood for a long time, and I had the pleasure of serving in the House of Representatives with him for 16 years, and we just left Woods Mullen Shelter, where we did a re-grand opening, where we invested almost $2 million into renovating some of the space for women that are homeless to live in, and bought new beds and new lighting fixtures and new TVs and new couches and things for people to sit on. And that's your state representative Byron Rushing, who's been a champion for years, and also been a champion here at this park to make sure that people have good places to play. I'm not going to talk that long because the young people behind me could care less what I'm saying. All they want to do is get on TV, and if you can help us with that, the news stations, please help us. But I want to thank you all for being here today. And lastly, thank you to Chris Cook and the Parks Department. Thank you to Commissioner Sterling and the Veterans Office. Thank you to the entire community. But most importantly, this is a park that got renovated because a bunch of young people saw something in their neighborhood that wasn't working, that was broken, that wasn't inviting, that wasn't allowing people to come in and enjoy this place. And they did their civic responsibility. They contacted their elected official, they contacted me. We sat down, we talked about it, we put it in the budget, and this is because of your hard work. Because if one of you just saying an idea, we should contact somebody about what's going on here. And if you didn't do that, we'll probably stand in a different park today, having a different conversation. So thank you to all the young people for your great advocacy.
Thank you so much, Mayor. And as the mayor said, and I also want to shout out our Deputy Commissioner, Elfrida Harris is here as well as Ryan Woods, our other Deputy Commissioner. Thank you. I want to, very grateful, as the mayor said, to the community activism that resulted in this space. And here representing them is Sarah and Brent, who actually coordinate with St. Stephen's on the youth program. So if you could please welcome them to the microphone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is so exciting. My name is Sarah O'Connor. I work for St. Stephen's Youth Programs, running the community organizing program for teens out of that building over there, the Church of St. Augustine and St. Martin. And this is Brent, who runs the Vibrant Boston Community Center over in Lenox. And I worked with a group of young people in 2015 who looked around the neighborhood and talked to families who are part of our after-school program about the neighborhood that they lived in and what they loved about it and what was challenging about living here. And the number one challenge that people mentioned was not feeling safe in this neighborhood. And the number one place that people felt like it wasn't safe for their young people to be was the one big public space in this neighborhood, this park. They remembered a shooting out of a window over there into the park. They remembered finding needles on the ground, and they didn't want us bringing our young people here from our after-school program and our summer program from that building over here. Didn't feel safe walking them over here. So we walked 10 blocks into the nicer, better resourced parks in the South End and played there for years. And in the summer of 2015, the young people, as Mayor Walsh said and Commissioner Cook mentioned, decided they wanted to do something about that to change it. And so they asked the Boston Neighborhood Basketball League to run a basketball league over at the basketball court. We got neighbors to teach tennis lessons with donated tennis rackets in the former tennis court over there, and worked with many different neighbors and community partners to paint a mural right where the skate park sprinkler area is right now, and we painted those tiles to put up on the fence, and asked the mayor and the city for some investment of resources in this neighborhood, and they committed to this beautiful renovation that we all now get to experience. And so this past summer, many of the young people who were part of the original crew that asked for this to change got to enjoy the results of their work and we brought young people from the summer program not 10 blocks into the South End to Peters Park or to Ringgold or to Titus Sparrow, but right here across the street, and they got to play in their neighborhood in a way that felt safe and part of their community. And we are so excited that that's going to be available to them from now on. And also, the next challenge that we're facing is that many of the young people, including some of the very young people who asked for this improvement to happen in their neighborhood, recently got notice that their families have to move out of where they've lived in the Lenox community for many years and even generations in some cases, because they're going to be renovating the buildings, and it's not guaranteed that they'll be able to move back in, and not guaranteed that they'll be able to move back in at the same rent that they can afford. And so many of our young people who fought for this improvement in their community are now are at risk of being pushed out of this neighborhood. And so our next challenge that we hope all of you will join us in is fighting for this neighborhood to be safe and healthy and equitable for young people who live here now, and so that they can continue to enjoy this park in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you. Sarah Brent, thank you so much. And as she talked about the renovation of this park, but the mayor's commitment actually extends beyond this. When you think about just the renovations that we've done in the past few years, it's just in this neighborhood alone. Harriet Tubman Park, Titus Sparrow Park, this park, Carter Playground in partnership with Northeastern right down the street. This whole neighborhood is transforming its open space because of leadership, partnership, and community advocacy, and we're very grateful. We're also very grateful in our city to have extraordinary leaders. One of those people is here with us. She leads the Veteran Services for the City of Boston. Please give a warm welcome to its Commissioner, Giselle Sterling.
Thank you, Mayor Walsh and Chief Cook, for your leadership in making today possible, and also to the youth that sparked the conversation and made your voices heard. Thank you for your leadership in today as we celebrate this beautiful space, and also take a moment to remember the local hero who it's named after, because it's that same leadership and commitment to the community that the youth showed that defines our values. And these are the same values and ideals that Captain David Leroy Ramsay fought for and gave the ultimate sacrifice for as a fighter pilot in Vietnam. So today we celebrate this space and pay tribute to his patriotism, deep values to family and country and community. And I encourage everyone here to take the time to read his story right along the walkway around that corner, where his portrait and his story is etched in stone for everyone to see. Though we lost him too soon, it's days like today that his spirit and legacy lives on, and we can be proud to stand here and celebrate and honor his legacy of a local hero. So again, thank you, Mayor Walsh, for your continued commitment to our fallen heroes and the communities that they come from, and to Chief Cook for safeguarding these important spaces where these stories can live on, and to everyone who made today a day to celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Thank you so much, Commissioner. Again, here representing the community and the kids in this amazing community is Lily Searcy of the Hattie B. Cooper Center, and she has her cheering section as well.
Good morning, everyone. It is my honor to be here this morning. I didn't know I was going to say a few words, but I'm happy to do so. My name is Lily Searcy, and I'm the Executive Director here at the Hattie B. Cooper Community Center, which is right here. Right, whoa! Cooper has been in business for over 100 years, serving the community of Boston and the Roxbury neighborhood. And it is my honor to be here in this park today. I cannot tell you what this means to our children here at Cooper, to be able to have a safe place where we can come and play, a place that little babies and little toddlers can walk in the water and play in the water. Because for the last so many years, we've dealt with drug addicts, needles in the corner, needles being thrown over our fence, urinating on our fence. But today is a day of celebration, isn't it? It's a day of celebration, and I want to thank Mayor Walsh and everyone from the City of Boston, everyone from the Parks Department, because we're not just here today, we were on the planning committee, and we were able to influence this park, where the playground is located, where the tennis court is located, and it's not always that possibility to make that happen. So today, we continue to make this place a God's place for our children so that we have a wonderful time every single day, and thank you all for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. A few more quick thank yous. Our project manager, Nate Frazee, he's not able to join us today. He's not feeling that well, but if you give him a round of applause for the Boston Parks Department, he worked really hard on this. I got to thank the amazing designers, Stantec. They're absolutely amazing. Who would have ever thought of a water feature that could also be a skateboard park? That's fantastic. Stantec did a great job. And our contractors, Fleming, they do amazing work. And of course, the members of the Boston Parks and Recreation Department who work with the community to keep this space beautiful, green, and clean. But now it gives me great pleasure if we could have some of the kids gather. Now it's time for the ribbon cutting.
On three. One, two, three.